Welcome to Living Full, my Gutless Journey. Today's video is going to be about my life after a proctocolectomy. 5 pros, 5 cons. So let's start with the pros. The first pro, no more ulcerative colitis. I have been cured of my chronic illness. It's so weird for me to even say that. I no longer have ulcerative colitis. I had ulcerative colitis ever since my teenage years, about 15 or 16, all the way up until I was 40 years old. And I cannot believe I no longer have ulcerative colitis, but I am very grateful. So if you don't know what a proctocolectomy is, a proctocolectomy is a type of surgery where they remove your entire colon. I no longer have a colon, my rectum is gone, and my anus is gone. So ulcerative colitis is a disease of the colon, and since I no longer have a colon, I no longer have UC. With ulcerative colitis, I had a hard time planning vacations in advance, like months in advance, because I wouldn't know if I would be having a flare-up or not. And on several occasions with my fiance, when we planned things in advance, like our anniversary, I often got sick and we couldn't even do what we planned. So that is a relief that I no longer have to worry about planning my day with UC. And since I no longer have UC, I can eat and actually absorb the nutrition from food. Because with ulcerative colitis, it's hard to gain nutrients from food because when you eat something with UC, it comes out pretty fast and painfully. So now I can eat food and actually feel like I have more energy. When I had UC, I was constantly fatigued. I slept way more than I do now. I'm able to eat without having colon pain and having my energy zapped from me. And along with this, my mental health is better. I feel relieved that I don't have to think about flare-ups in the future. Like, it's such a weight off my shoulders to know that I don't have to deal with UC anymore. Also, I don't have to worry about anemia, even though I never was anemic when I did have UC, but I was always on the borderline. Now, I'm a little higher than borderline, but it's better than what it was when I had UC. And just a little funny story, when my daughter was learning her colors, like when she was 1 or 2, I don't know, we would tell her to find colors around the house, or I don't know, just name some colors, and she'll point to colors like, that's red, that's orange, and she'll point to like her sister, point to herself or her dad saying, that's brown. But when she pointed to me, she said, that's yellow. I was so pale when I was borderline anemic, and my face did look yellow. And even in pictures, when I took pictures with my family, I was pale as hell. But now I feel like I have some color in my face now. A little better. But now I'm brown and not yellow. The second pro, I am now cancer-free. Even though radiation and chemotherapy did their job to combat my cancer, I believe just that extra step of taking out my entire colon, it just gave me a lot of relief that cancer can't even grow in a colon that I don't even have anymore. So the cancer is outside of my body now. If it wants to grow in my colon, I don't know where it is in this world. It can grow, but it's not affecting me. I had radiation and chemotherapy prior to getting a proctocolectomy. My doctors didn't give me an MRI right before I got my proctocolectomy, because I knew no matter what, I wanted to take out my colon so I can have a peace of mind knowing that I could never get colorectal cancer again. And after I got my proctocolectomy, I did have MRIs showing that their MRIs showed that the cancer didn't metastasize. So without a colon, there could be no cancer. The third pro, I am now part of a beautiful and wonderful community the Ostomy community. I love that I'm able to come on this channel, come on YouTube, and explain my story and tell you about my story, so everyone who is going through this experience or has gone through this experience or is about to go through this experience, show you guys that you're not alone. I'm able to get information about how to take care of myself after having a proctocolectomy. And I feel like I kind of know you guys in a way, especially when you leave comments. I'm like, oh, I get to answer some questions. You guys can tell me about how to take care of myself after a proctocolectomy, how to take care of my stoma. And I feel like this community is so welcoming and so warm, and it's a good place to be. And I'm glad I'm part of it. The fourth pro, after I got my proctocolectomy, I knew that my family would no longer have to worry about me. Like, I don't like when people worry about me, period. My UC was like off and on. The flare-ups were off and on. I would lose weight and my family would worry. And now that I no longer have UC and cancer and my colon is taken out, I feel like that helps my family to less worry about me and my health. They helped tremendously through my journey. And I know they were trying to be strong when I was going through this journey, and they were. And now that there is no risk of me having colorectal cancer ever again, I'm so glad that they don't have to worry about that happening to me in the future. Pro number 5. After getting my proctocolectomy and going through the recovery period, I gained mental strength and spiritual strength. Prior to even having my surgery, I prepared myself mentally and spiritually for the recovery phase. I heard that it would be tough and there would be several months of pain. I become mentally stronger when I do my research and prepare. I knew what to expect. I knew I would have to rest a lot. I knew that I would have to take pain medicine. I knew that I would have to depend on other people to get me through the day. And even though I don't really like people taking care of me, I don't know why, I mentally was like, let's do this. Make sure you know the people who are around you want the best for you and want you to be healthy and want you to gain your strength back. So just mentally checking myself through the pain, that was a big win, because now I feel like, what else could I go through that was mentally taxing as my proctocolectomy recovery? And spiritually, I knew that I was going to be okay. I had conviction that I was going to be okay, because spiritually, I thought about my future. I saw myself meeting my grandchildren, having good times with my family. Like, I saw all of that. And even during my proctocolectomy surgery, I was woken up for a brief period, and I saw my sister, I saw my partner, I saw my doctors around me. And I remember saying, I am so happy right now. Because I really was. I was like, this is the end of it. I'm going through it. Even though they're telling me that there is some complications, I was like, do what you got to do, because I know this is all going to work out in the end. So mentally and spiritually, I feel more grounded. And that is such a pro from going through this experience. Even though I learned so much from going through a proctocolectomy, there are some cons after having a proctocolectomy, and I'm going to keep it real. So the first con is not necessarily taking care of my stoma. I'm getting skin irritation where my navel is, because the flange that sticks to my belly goes kind of like halfway over my belly button. And I'm starting to get some redness and itchiness and irritation. So that is one con from a proctocolectomy. I now have to have a stoma, which I'm grateful for, but I do not like the skin irritation bit. I naturally just have sensitive skin. I have eczema. So I kind of knew this was gonna pop up sometime, and it is. But it has been getting so much better. I've been using Flonase, squirting there every bag change to calm down my skin. The second con, blockages. Now that I have a stoma, I have to be careful with fibrous foods. And prior to having a stoma, at one point I wanted to become vegan. So I eat a lot of veggies and fruits and like whole foods. But now I'm more just like whole foods, like eggs, nothing too processed. I don't eat meat, but I'll eat fish. But now I got to be really careful with the amount of fruit and fibrous food I eat, because if I eat too much, I start to become really nauseous. My bag starts to fill up with a lot of water, and sometimes I'll puke that food up. I haven't had a blockage where I had to go to the hospital yet, which God forbid that doesn't happen. But I need to test my limits safely. The third con, this isn't something that's really happening now, adjusting to all the supplies that I need and learning terminology in the ostomy world. That was kind of hard, but now I know my terminology, but just like constantly having a big box mailed to my door once a month of my medical supplies is pretty overwhelming, but I gotta do what I gotta do. The fourth con, which I'm no longer, well, kind of, I am still going through it, is recovering from a proctocolectomy. It's a beast. It's a beast. I still feel sore around my hips, especially where my legs bend, like in my pelvic area, very sore. I used to be very, very flexible. I used to sit like this on the couch, and like I'll even sit at the dinner table like this. But now after a while, I'm like, let's straighten that leg out. Oh no, oh no. So that is an adjustment. I'm still recovering from that. And my surgery was on February 6, 2025. And what's today? November 22nd, 2025. And the fifth con is having to get up in the middle of the night to empty my bag. When I had UC, I would sleep 9+ hours to feel rested. Now it's about like 7.5, 8. But still, at that like 7-hour mark, I have to get up and empty my pouch, regardless if I ate close to bedtime or not. It's just filling up with gas, and I have to get up no matter what. That is a con. I have to get up. It's not like it's a quick bathroom trip. I have to sit there, make sure I'm awake enough to make sure I'm emptying it properly and focusing on getting it all in the toilet, getting my Tic Tac for my deodorizer, rolling it up, washing my hands, make sure everything's clean, and then I can go back to sleep. I have no trouble going back to sleep. Great. I never did have a problem going back to sleep, but that's a con. Thank you for watching this video. Please share this with anyone who might be going through a similar experience, or someone who is about to go through this experience, or someone who is supporting someone going through this experience. Blah, blah. I'm getting tongue-tied a little bit, but you get the gist. That's all I ask. I'll see you in the next one.